stolen, 1,400 a day. Why aren't people protesting that no one in the way? You got advocates parading around the good old USA. People with little hope waiting to hear what they say. Well, don't hold your breath, the messages aren't important. What they are fighting for, it's barely worth it. They say they are helping, well, that's just a lie. They want you to follow on Facebook. What a big surprise. Tiff and the Punisher here every day. Listen to the words they say. It will save you one day. Tiff and the Punisher, built to last. Stop giving up what's important to those that don't care. Don't build up their egos to you. It's not fair.
Please do your research. Be read between the lines.
Don't give them all you got. It's blind leading the blind.
All of the people who say that they care
They don't know your first name.
couldn't tell you your case.
They don't recognize your face. Tiff and the Punisher here every day. Listen to the words they say. It will save you one day. Tiff and the Punisher, built to last. Stop giving up what's important to those that don't care. Don't build up their egos to you. It's not fair.
We know it's all about the money, we know they lie, we know this is corruption. Does CPS know what they are doing to the children?
Tiff and the Punisher, they won't back down. Fight for the children in every town. are taking our kids every day. A child a minute, no one has a thing to say for those who have been isolated. Don't be worried, you have a voice today. So listen up everyone, here is the story. Child Protective Services is real. CPS is what they call it. They want our kids to get a lot of people's wallet. We all think it won't be us. We say when they come we will be so tough. It all sounds good when there's no one to take them. But when they come, your voice gets to breaking. Stay calm, step away. CPS ain't taking no one today. We are educated. Stay calm, step away. CPS, you need to leave. I know the tricks up your sleeves. You can't do what you're trying to do. We have done our homework. Don't do a damn thing without a warrant. You no longer will steal our kids this way. Tiff and the Punisher have come for the calling. They are giving us the CPS warning. Their voice is loud and clear. We stop losing our kids this year. Tiff wants to fight the entire planet. She is tired of our kids being taken, God damn it. She's been fighting CPS for 30 years, bringing children home from this disgusting mess. The Punisher is screaming out loud, abolish CPS and tear it down. I want all our kids to come back. Look at all those kids' pictures held up like thin tags. Together we are stronger than we need. We will tear down CPS with high speed. We will do so much being together. Birds of a feather flock together. So watch out CPS, here we come. Picking you one by one. We promise to bring back the family and prosecute the caseworkers unhandily. Give us back the kids you have taken. Tiff and the Punisher sending you all on a vacation. The one with bars in the windows, and the only games you play are old Nintendos. Corruption in courts, here we come. We won't stop until it's done. You judges need to learn what you stand for. This is Tiff and the Punisher warrior, and we cry out to all of you out there. We need some.
Holy smokes. Take that button away from me, Tiff.
I was wondering what was going on.
I don't even know what's going on right now. I'm trying to find out where we are. All right,
Oh,
here we
you
go.
are so funny.
There we go. There we are. I'm not here yet, though. Where am I? There we go. All right, there I am. What's up, Tiff? Hey, guess what, everybody? Tiff won the President's Award from the NAACP, the highest honor that you can get, and she decides to be on this show right here. She is the most recognized person in the NAACP for her efforts this past year, and that's pretty freaking awesome right there. Like, you're like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and all of those people, Tiff. they all are recipients of that award. So you, my friend, are on a list of the most prestigious people in American history, and now your name's going to be on that list too. Pretty awesome.
Why, thank you.
Hmm.
I appreciate it. I felt like I won um like the achievement of the year award.
Yeah, of course. That's more than the achievement of the year. That's like, I mean, I guess it's not the chances of you ever even winning that award is next to none. So the fact that you won that award or even came into contention for it is like you must be a powerhouse. You must be recognized by a lot of people. So that's really cool.
Well, thanks.
That's cool that these people see that you work your ass off to do the stuff that you do, and you obviously are making a difference because there's a lot of people in that NAACP.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
So
excited.
yeah, I'm telling you, you should have brought the brought it out so you could have shown
Well,
it
I
off.
sent you a picture of it. You can pull it up.
Oh Jesus Almighty! Now
It's in your
hold on a
messenger.
minute. Tiff. Hold on a minute, Tiff. Let me get your award for you so I can show it to everybody.
Well, it's in the
Yep.
room.
All right.
But
All
I
right.
knew something was up.
Do you think you were getting
Because
fired?
well, no, because the president was him pretty much begging me, right? And I was
Mm,
like, "What? Yeah, I'll be there." I said, "But I'm not coming like till towards the end." And I get there, and some gentleman's talking, and we're almost out of time, and he goes, "Well, I have one more thing to get to." And he goes, and I had no clue where he was going with this. He said, Malcolm X said to agitate, agitate, agitate the government, right, for transparency and to do the right thing. He
mm-hmm.
said, and we are so proud that we have an agitator amongst us. And she's our legal redress. Let me tell you, you know how you get like your face is turning red,
Yeah. Right.
almost like a hot flash.
Yep. Yep.
And tears just started running down my face. And he said, Tiffany Wise. And then he opened up the box and said, we are presenting her with the President's Award. And if you look at the picture on Facebook that they posted, I said, my face looks like that because I was crying. I was crying.
I mean, how would you not, right? That's just an overwhelming because you know what? All of this work is thankless, right? Like you don't get no one pats you on the back at the end of the day. No one said, you know what I mean? Like all of this volunteer work or however you even want to call it, the stuff that we do fighting CPS, it's all thankless, because you don't always win. People just drift away.
Yeah.
All of this stuff. People at the end of the day, it's like, what are you doing this for? You're not getting recognition for it. You don't get this. You don't get that. And there are days that you want to give up, and when you're just like, damn, like no one even gives a shit that I'm doing this. But then to have something like that come across, you're like, woo, here we go, let's go. Like it must fire your ass.
Yeah. I just sent it to you.
I was already working on it. After you told me,
And
I had to pull
Kingston
it up.
was there. I had King and Cairo with me. Cairo was sleeping on my friend who was actually there. And when I came back to sit down, Kingston said, "Yay, Yaya, you won!"
You won. That's funny. So, let's see. Where's the picture? I'm trying to pull it up so everybody can see the picture. There, it's right there. There it is. Don't share it.
The answer to that is no, Deidre wasn't even there with me.
There we go. And here's the picture of the award that she has. We need to get her a little light or something put under that, and then yeah, we need to put a little light or something under that to transmit all of that stuff. It'd be pretty cool. So
Yeah.
yep, there it is, the President's Award 2025.
Yeah.
Tiffany Wise. It's pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah.
So Now, moving along, we got a first timer. How do you even transition to that? You know, like, oh, okay, so now next. No. We got this story is going to be. I'm anxious to hear this story because we never hear the story of the survivors of this. You know, like we never hear the stories. We always are listening to the parents. We're never hearing kids that actually lived it. And this person has decided to come here, and we're going to hear her story first. And it's her first time out, and not to put the light on her because she was already nervous enough, but might as well just do that. So, but here's our guest, Jane. Come on out. All right. Jane
Hey,
is. I'm trying to get you out here, Jane. My buttons are not. There we go. Oh, just kidding. There you are. There we go. Perfect. All right, everybody. This
yeah.
is Jane.
Hey.
All right. So what's up, Jane?
Not much. Still really nervous.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
picture.
Just talk to us.
Yeah. Picture everybody naked. You know, little cartoons.
That's always exciting.
Yeah, I never understood why they said that. You know, they're always like, because I get more nervous that way. I'm like, oh, now they're looking at me and I'm naked too. And, you know, like, am I
Right.
looking at them?
Right.
You know, like, why do we want to picture everybody naked up here? This doesn't make any sense. But yeah, no. This is really cool because we never hear, or not, I shouldn't say never, but we very rarely get to hear stories from the other side, stories from the side of the people that were you know, like the kids that were taken, the people that were affected by it. We always hear from the parents and how, you know, how it's affected their lives and how they feel it's affected their kids' lives, but never do we get to hear the story of someone that actually lived that side of the line, really. You know, like someone that was actually kidnapped by CPS, taken away, and then, you know, that was that. And, you know, and then you went through your course of life, and you know, where did it lead you to and where to bring it back to? I don't want to say anything because I don't want to, you know, ruin what went on with your story, but you know, like this is exciting. I mean, and I don't mean it exciting like in a sick way, like
I get it.
yeah, like hearing it in a way, you know, it's an exciting way. So
Yeah.
yeah, when did this what kicked off your morning that you were kidnapped? How did that go? What went on? Like what happened? How did all this go down?
So I was in 7th grade, and it was 2002. No, it was 2003. It's the very beginning of 2003. So it was like January of 2003.
How old were
I
you?
lived with my mom.
Yeah,
I was
how old were
13.
you? 13 in 2003, Tiff. How old were you?
She's same age as my daughter.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So
yeah, sorry about that. So
I lived with my mom, and prior to that, when I was 8, my parents had gotten divorced, and I was living with my dad, and he was very permissive. He'd rather be a friend than a dad, you know. So he really didn't care what we did. And my sister is 6.5 years older than me. So she ended up getting pregnant, and she
so she was
got
14?
married and all this other stuff. She was 16.
16?
Yeah. It was like a few years. They had gotten divorced, and then like a couple years later, my older sister had gotten married and had a baby and all this good stuff. And just some bad stuff happened because she was running around with a bad crowd. My dad was running around with a bad crowd, and bad stuff happened. And I was angry, and my mom got custody. And so when I moved with my mom, I was pissed off. I was pissed off at the world. No one asked me why I was mad, you know. And you know, by that time I had been victimized by like 3 grown men from the same family. And I was mad. So me and my mom, we gotten into an argument that day, like after school, and she smacked me. So I smacked her back, and she called the cops. And the cops came and they took me to jail. So I went to juvie for like an hour or so, and then my dad came and got me. And then I was at my dad's for like a month. So then it's like the end of February of 2003. They had court, and I don't remember being in the room. Maybe I was, but I don't think I was, because I don't remember anything. But from what I was told, my dad, my mother, and my dad's mom were all in the courtroom, and my grandmother and my mother told the judge that my dad was insane, and that if he got custody, he was going to like drive off a cliff with us or something crazy. Okay.
Right.
And so the judge automatically was like, okay, well, she's not going to go with her mom. She's not going to go with her dad. So they put me back in juvenile for 2 weeks.
Ugh.
And I sat there, and then it was like the beginning of March 2003 is when I was put in my first foster home.
How many foster homes? Oh, go ahead.
No, you, Tiff. You're
How many foster homes were you in?
I would say like 5 or 6, but I was also in a group home, and I was also in like it's called Talbert House in Cincinnati. It's like one of those teen behavioral places. You know, I was there for like 6 months.
No. So you were, let's say, you went from being a little girl growing up with her daddy and her sister to, in a matter of 9 months, being an aunt, being really cast out, and now you're not really the special little girl anymore because the attention's on the baby. And then on top of that, the bad people that were in your life who are taking advantage of this poor little girl who is lost now and trying to find herself. And then your mom, which had no caring or any sort of feelings towards any of that towards you. So you had no outlet. You had no you had no vent. You had no nothing to try to get out there. So then on top of that, you guys get into an altercation, and then they decide it's time for you to go back with the man that the stuff started with.
Yeah.
And then they say, well, this isn't going to work either. So now we're going to send you off to completely strangers' houses to live.
Yeah. And
makes sense. Seems legit.
Yeah, they didn't ask any of my family members if they wanted me.
Right.
So I had a grandfather in Florida that would have taken me, and I have aunts and stuff that tried to take me when I was 17. But by that point, I was already a troubled child. So they get paid big money for that. Like, I remember overhearing foster parents talk about how much money they made. I don't know if it was true. They could have just been lying because they knew I was listening in, but it was well over $2,000. Yeah. And that was just for me. So, because they were getting Social Security money from my dad for child support, and then they were getting money from the state. And then the more medication they have you on, that's more money.
Keep bringing that up.
So they were making big bucks when I was in there.
Hell yeah, they were. That's crazy.
How did you get out? Tell people how you got out.
I aged out. So I was really bad there at the end. Like, I started running away when I was like 16, almost 17. I was in a group home, and I started running away. And
what were you running to?
I was running, like, I lived in Cincinnati, so I was on Eastern Avenue. They put me in a group home on Eastern Avenue in Cincinnati, like downtown Cincinnati. Like, I was on the bus line. I had a bus pass in the group home.
Right, but I mean, like, in a fictitious sense, like, what were you running? Like, you were running away, but what were you?
I was running away from the control and the thumb that they had on me, honestly. Because up until that point, I was a really good kid. Like, I did everything I had to do. I went to school every day. I was making like A's and B's. And it's like, as an adult looking back, I was a really good kid. Like, I was not even that bad, And when I moved into that group home, it was supposed to be like a transitional thing. Like, you're about to be an adult, so you get a little bit more freedom. And I lived there for like a month or two and did everything I had to do. And my caseworker hated me because I ran my mouth and didn't do I didn't like agree with everything that they said, and they hated that. So, like after a couple months, I was supposed to have like out time where you could leave and go look for a job or go to a friend's house or just like have a little bit of freedom. And I wasn't allowed to do that. And so at that point I was just like, screw it. I'm out of here, you know?
Right, because in those homes, don't they have like a level system, like level 1, 2, 3, 4?
We didn't necessarily have a level system, but it was like if you were there for a month and you did everything you had to do for at least that month, like your chores and like school and all that, then you were supposed to have like out time. Like I think it was like from 5 to 9, or you were supposed to be able to like go downtown with your friends or go look for a job or do whatever you wanted in that period of time as long as you weren't getting in trouble, you know? And I was never even given the opportunity. So I just, you know, somebody had put it in my head in a foster home, like, why don't you run? And, you know, at that point I was like, why don't I run? So I ran, and I think I ran like, I think I got arrested like 22 or 25 times in like 4 months. Like the Cincinnati police knew me. So we were good friends.
Yeah, that's a lot of police, you know? Sure is. What was it? Oh, hi. What was it that you? Let's go back now to like where you were at the beginning of all this. What was that feeling like when you're in the courtroom? The court says, "No, mom, you're not going to go back to your dad's. We're going to give you to these strangers." Did you know the people? Did you have any affiliation with them prior to? Was this whole thing just a
No.
big surprise?
Excuse me, what was the last question?
Was the whole thing just a big surprise to you? Like the whole entire like,
Yeah, honestly, I thought I was going to go back to my dad's house, and that did not happen. And so at the end of that 2 weeks, I remember my caseworker coming to get me, and it was like real early in the morning. It was like the beginning of March, and she took me to like some random house, you know, like in this really great suburb. And I grew up kind of poor, and I didn't even know people lived like that, honestly. Because like I grew up in like apartments and like trailers and stuff, and they took me to this house that was like spotless, you know. And I thought it was weird. But yeah, I did not know the lady when I got there. I just remember like being really scared and freaked out. And I was in my room for a while. And I remember her taking me out and like asking me weird questions, like if I smoked cigarettes. And I'm like 13. I'm not telling you if I smoke cigarettes, you know? And it was just weird. It was scary. But I don't know, for some reason I knew that I'd be okay. I don't know. I always had like a reassurance that I was going to be okay. I guess that was God telling me, you know?
So I want you to answer a couple of these questions. One person said, do you talk to your mom or dad currently?
So I do. My dad passed away about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And I was always really close to my dad. He never like sexually abused me or anything. It was like more like physical with him. But even though that happened, he was still like there, you know, even like through the whole system, he was the one there. So I was always really close with my dad. Me and my mom are like the same person. So it took a really long time for us to get along, but now we're like best friends, and it's like hanging out with my friend or a girlfriend. It's not really like hanging out with my mom, but we've worked through a lot of things. Like we've both admitted our wrongs, and she has, and apologized. And, you know, we've moved past it where we don't argue now. We can just like be like, look, this is what's bothering me. And then we'll talk about it. So she's grown a lot.
Well, that's good. The other question was, did you get to talk to your mom and or dad while you were in the foster home?
So me and my mom did not get along like at all when I was a teenager, really. My dad, I was allowed to talk to him at first. I had visits with my dad at first. I had weekend visits, and then a summer I was going home for 5 days out of the week. and then going back to my foster home 2 days. And then I was actually out for like a week. And then my caseworker came and was like, "You're going back." And I remember freaking out. But sorry, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
The visitation schedule with your parents. That's
Yeah,
pretty much
you answered it.
yeah.
Okay.
And the last question somebody asked was, and out of that money that the foster parents were paid, how much was spent on you?
Nothing. So I got at 15, I got a work permit, and I worked. If I wanted new clothes, if I wanted anything that didn't come from like a hand-me-down shop or something like that, I had to work for it. I had to write an IOU to one of my foster moms for a dress for like a winter ball or something, because my check didn't come and I needed a dress and I had to pay her back. So yeah,
That's
no, I didn't get
disgusting.
nothing.
Okay,
Wow.
so the question that I have is, you said you got a job and stuff,
Mhm.
and I hope other kids that are out here hear this. Why didn't you go to Job Corps?
That wasn't an option.
Actually, it is
answer.
an option.
I didn't have that option. I was
Sorry.
not given that option. I didn't even have like a guardian ad litem when I was
They're
in the
not going to
system.
give you the option because if you go to
Yep.
Job Corps, they lose the funding. And see, let me tell you,
Mhm.
I'm a big advocate, not just on CPS and all this other shit. I'm a big advocate of emancipating 16-year-olds if they have jobs and a place
Yeah.
to live. I'm also a big fan of Job Corps. I went to Job Corps, actually.
See, I didn't know any of that though.
Of
Like
course
they
you
don't tell
didn't.
you that when you're in the system at all. They don't tell you. And this is like I am pre-internet, so like there was no Googling that shit or like having a phone, like no, I wasn't even allowed to have a phone. But like back then we didn't have smartphones anyway,
Well, I remember. Okay, so I got in trouble a couple times in my life, but as a juvenile, my mom pressed charges on me for breaking in her house. She lied, said she didn't know who it was, but anyway. So the judge was about to send me back there, and I said, "If you send me there, I'm leaving." Okay,
Mhm.
and I said, "Send me back to detention." That's what I told her.
Right.
So she ordered a social worker. I loved my social worker. His name was Mike. He came to see me one day and he was like, "Hey, you don't deserve to be in here." Okay. They had all figured out my mom was nut.
Mhm.
He said, "But we have to get you emancipated because if they use my parents' income, my stepfather was a doctor. So their income, because you have to meet an income thing, right?"
Yeah.
He said, "If we can get you emancipated, I can get you in Job Corps." So I filed a petition, and I loved my lawyer too. His name was Mike Daltrey. I'll never forget it. I got emancipated, and I went to Job Corps. I was only there a year because I did retail sales. It was one of the only ones that was the easiest to get in and get out. But I'm a big component of emancipation and Job Corps because 16
Mhm.
to now, I think like 30, because then it was like
Wow.
26.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they upped it to like 30. I think people in foster care that reach the age of 16 should start applying for Job Corps or emancipation.
Well, I was emancipated, but it was like they made the papers out to when I was 18. But they didn't tell me anything about Job Corps, of course, Like I didn't even know that that was a thing. They wouldn't have let me do that anyway. They would have had some reason like why I wouldn't have been able to do it,
Well, here's the funny thing. Well, this was years ago. Okay, we're talking like 40 years ago because I'm way older than you. When I was there, if you were caught up in the juvenile system or in foster care, they actually let you go. It was actually an option for you then. And this is back in the 80s.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, I probably would have done that. If I would have been given that opportunity, I probably would have done it, but I was never given that option, you know?
So when I got in trouble, like I said, my social worker came because I told him I wasn't going. If you send me back to her house, I'm leaving. Exactly what I told the judge. I will not stay. I'm leaving. Send me
Yep.
back to detention. So when they put this guy Mike, the social worker, on me, and he came and talked to me,
Mhm.
that's what happened. I was emancipated, and I went to Job Corps, and my charges were dropped.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people that I was in Job Corps with, their probation officers actually were like, "Hey, it's either jail time or Job Corps. You take your pick."
Right.
But
Right.
anyway, that's what I wanted to ask you. But I already knew what you were going to say because they don't offer that.
No,
They don't want
that
to
wa
lose
that
the
was
money.
never that would have never been brought up. They're making way too much money, and like I said, they would have had some reason, like, "You're too bad," or whatever. Because I had a fucking sorry, I had a mouth. I still do, and, they didn't like it. They did not like that. They drugged me up so I would shut up, you know, and yeah, so they wouldn't have that would have never, ever been brought up into a conversation, ever.
Right.
That's
It's-
terrible. And honestly, that's a good way for kids to get out of a system, especially when children at the age of 14 can participate in their own case plans. I hope
Yeah,
somebody out here in foster care is hearing this. Emancipation at 16 or
yeah,
Job Corps.
yep, and then you can get away from those people, you know?
They want to know, do you have kids?
No, no, I never had kids because I'm scared to have kids, honestly. Like, I've always been terrified to have kids, but thank God I met my husband when I was young, and he has a vasectomy. So, um, I'm scared to have kids because I'm afraid that the system would come after me and
It
take
will
my
come
kids. I've
after
always
you.
thought that. Yeah,
It
I've
will
always
come
thought
after
that.
you. They
They
will.
threatened me when I was in the system because, like, I had like a teenager pregnancy scare when I was like 17, I was 18, and they had threatened me that if I was pregnant, that I wasn't getting out of the system, that they were going to hold me till I was 21, and then they were going to take my kid. So that freaked me out, and then I was just always scared to have a kid because no, no, no. And I know that they like hold on to your file and stuff. Like there ain't no way. Well, like the stuff they put you through for 5 years is how long I was in. They hold on to that. They hold on to that. So
Um, that somebody wants to know if you were in the system before you went into the system. Like, had there ever been CPS calls on your family before?
okay, so I think there might have been one that I vaguely remember because I was about 3 and something happened with like my dad and my sister. Like my dad had hit my sister with like a telephone or something. And I do remember a man coming, but I was very little. So I think that was dropped for the most part, but they could have just always been, in the background somewhere after that, you know?
Well, they definitely stay in the background. And you're right. If you had had kids, they'd have just waited, and
Mm-hmm.
they'd have
They
came.
would
They
have.
would have came.
They would have.
But what blows my mind is how can they tell an 18-year-old who is by law a legal adult, if you get pregnant, we're going to you said they were going to take your baby and they were going to
Oh,
hold you
yeah.
till you were 21?
Yep, I think I was like maybe 2 or 3 months before I turned 18, and I had a pregnancy scare, and I remember them sitting me down, and they were like, "You're not getting out," because that's all I wanted was to get out when I was 18. I knew that I was free on my 18th birthday. I knew it, and they knew that that's what I wanted, and they were like, if you're pregnant, then you're staying, and your kid's staying, and it just scared the shit out of me. So I've never really wanted kids. I want kids, but like it's too much. I couldn't handle it. If my kid got taken, I just couldn't handle it. I have like too bad a PTSD to deal with caseworkers.
Yeah.
So mm,
Wow. So what do you do now?
Right.
Currently, I'm a housewife. Like my husband,
Aw.
he takes care of me. I have like a side job though. I have like a hosting business that
Mhm.
me and my husband have. So like we have websites that we host, you know. So I do make some money, but not a whole lot. But really I just stay home and clean the house. I'm lucky enough to have that.
Aw, that's sweet, and I'm glad you found somebody that, understands.
Oh, he spoils me. He's like, "You're too good to be out there in the world. Like, you don't need none of that, you know." So I have a great life now. I have a great life. We've been together for 16 years and we've been married for
Aw.
13. So he gives me everything I want. I'm spoiled. I have I have a Mustang out front and a Camaro and motorcycles and just anything you could want I got because I'm spoiled. So he
Well,
makes
you
up
don't
for like everything bad that's ever happened, really.
yeah, you don't need no kids because you wouldn't have time for none of that shit.
Nope.
So somebody wants to know, what was your punishment when you would run away and they would take you back?
Oh, they would arrest me. They would arrest me for sure, and then, I would sit in, the holding tank at, like, the juvenile for 24 hours because that's the longest they can hold you, and they would let me sit there. They would make sure I sat there the full 24, and usually there was no punishment when I got back. Like, what are they gonna do? You know? They're gonna take my stuff. Like, at that point, I was like a defiant teenager and just over it. So, and I knew they couldn't touch me, you know? So I would just run away again. I mean, I got to a point where I would run away on just the weekends and go hang out with my friends. And then on Sunday night, I would come back. And then it happened once. I do have like one good story. I ran away on the weekend, came back on Sunday to go to school the next day, right? And it was like 11 o'clock at night. I'm up in my room in the group home, and I had headphones in. I was in bed, like get ready to go to sleep, and a cop came in, a female cop, and she had a flashlight. She was like, "Get up, get dressed," and I was like, "Okay." So I got up, got dressed. She handcuffed me, walked me downstairs to the car, put me in the back of the car, and I sat there for like 20 minutes. And then she took me back in, and she's like, "She's not a runaway anymore. She's here. We can't take her in." And they got super pissed. And I went upstairs and went back to bed. So it was stuff like that, you know. I don't know.
Wow. Yeah.
Mm,
I went through a lot of stuff that you went through.
yeah.
But I did have kids, and like I said, my daughter is almost 37, and she has PTSD. Okay,
Hmm.
so it's not just you, and you're not alone in that.
Yeah.
Because
I
that's what the
figured.
system is designed to do. It's designed to terrify, horrify, and traumatize you.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, I have such bad PTSD. Like I still have nightmares. I am 36 years old and I still have like at least two nightmares a week where I wake up and I have to tell my husband, like, "Steven, I just had a nightmare about being in foster care," you know? And I mean, that's horrible. And you know, some stuff happened with my sister's kids, and the system is involved with her kids, of course. And you know, I was going to try to get them, but I have such bad PTSD. I cannot talk to a caseworker and be nice because I know they're fucking game, and I'm sorry for cussing, but I know they're game. And like it infuriates me, and I can't be nice to those people. You know.
Well, I
So
can't be nice to them either. So,
mhm.
but they know
It's
better to
really
come knock
hard.
on my door.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I
The
would
la-
love to see like any of my old foster parents or my old caseworkers, like Rebecca Cofrancisco or Julie Roberts,
Yeah.
or you know, any of those
Chad, like
people.
those,
You
those
know,
are awesome,
the
Julia.
Archer family. Yeah, I would love to see the Archer family out and about. You know, I mean, no threats or anything, but
Right.
you know, they all know. They all know what they did and how they treated people. You know.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
well, it's funny
Well,
you
what's
say
it?
that. Go ahead, Darren.
Well, I was just gonna ask, like, take us through a typical day. Like, compare a day in a home to being at your house with your mom and dad and doing what you guys do, to a day as being a foster child. Like, how what's the different? What's just how are they different? Like, what would they? what stands out when someone asks you that question?
I mean, when you're at home with your parents, you're safe. You're with your parents. You know what I mean? You're safe. When you're in a foster home, it's scary. It's scary, you know? You don't have anybody you know, and nobody gives a shit. So
It's
it's scary.
okay. You're safe here.
You know, it's got to be. I talk about that often. It's like kids have no. We as adults, when you come and take our kids, you get the opportunity to call your neighbor or call someone, and you know what's going on. And you understand that you don't like it. It's very hurtful, but you still are aware of what's going on. To take a little child away from their
Yeah.
safety net, plop them into a stranger's home that they don't know. You don't have anybody. You've got nobody.
No.
It's got to be
And they
scary.
usually
It's
don't
got to
let
be so
you they
scary.
usually don't let you use the phone or the
Right.
computer or anything like that. So you have no way to call your mom or your dad, you know? And then they'll play mind games and then you're a kid. You're a
Right.
kid. If you don't know any better, and you don't
Right.
have an adult that you can call
Right.
and have them be on your side, you know? So it's hard.
Yeah, they definitely alienate you, and they definitely lie to
Mhm.
you and tell you that your
Oh,
parents
yeah.
don't care about you.
Mhm.
I can only imagine,
Yeah,
right?
they make it out like you're the worst kid ever, you know? And a lot of the kids that I met, they really weren't that bad, you know? And even I wasn't even that bad. Like as an adult looking back, I was not that bad, you know? Like not as bad as they made me think I was.
Hmm.
So it's all mind games with the caseworkers and the foster parents. It's all a mind game. And if they
Yeah,
can break you, then it's easier for you. But if you're hard
Exactly.
headed, then they make your life hell until you're away from them, you know?
I guess you could say it's sort of like being in the military because that's what the military
Mhm.
does, right? They break you down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and if you buck it, it's gonna be harder for you than if
Mhm.
you just lay back and be like, "Okay, yeah, let's do it," you know? So and it was harder for me, I guess, because I had a mouth, you know?
So what? God gave it to you. Shit.
Right, right, and I wasn't about to go along with what they said if I thought it was wrong. So and they didn't like that about me, you
Well,
know?
that's because you have morals.
Oh, yeah. But then I guess, I have morals, but then my parents were so bad I couldn't have gone back home, you know? I mean,
Oh,
I got the
whatever.
morals from somewhere, you know? It definitely
What?
wasn't for many of those people.
You know, it's funny because if kids were really that bad, they wouldn't
Right.
be
Mhm.
in foster homes. They would literally
Right.
be in juvenile detention.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly, and the only times I ever went to juvenile detention was for running away. It was for running away.
Right.
So,
Wow.
um
Just to grasp like what it must have been like just to be alone by yourself. You have to hurry up, become an adult. You have to become a
mhm,
problem solver. You have to become your own best friend, your own, like, and then you're not given anything either. It's not like they give you a stack of $1,000 and say, "Here's your
no.
$1,000. Go get some clothes, get yourself a cell phone, this, that,
Mhm,
or this." They just like you're put to the you're put to these foster parents as like these are your saviors, and good luck. Hopefully, they do what's right for you. Like, what were
mhm.
you when you were put into your first foster home? Like, what did they deny you? Like, what did you not have that you needed and you couldn't tell them? Or if you did tell them, they were like, nope, you don't need that. Or, like, what was like your biggest struggle coming from where you were from, being put into a foster home? Like, what did you not have that you needed? And even to this day, think that you probably still needed? You know what I mean? Like, is there anything that was like, they don't allow you to have this, or there is this? And I don't just mean anything physical. It could be, like, an attachment wise, or because I mean, they don't let you take your clothes, they don't let you do any of that stuff, right?
Right. So, I mean, the first foster home I went into, I didn't have anything because I went from straight from juvenile to the first foster home, and they had actually given me a voucher to go shopping. And it was like I think one of 2 times the whole 5 years that I was in the system that the state gave me money to go buy new clothes.
Wow.
And I got new clothes. And I mean, I had everything. Like, I had food, I had shelter, I had like nice clothes, but like the one thing that you don't get in a foster home is the love. You don't get compassion. They don't just hug
Right.
you because you're sad. They will ask you if they can hug you. You know, I mean, at least my first one was like that. And I mean, they give you everything you need, like food, clothes, but they just don't have I don't know, they're not there for you. You know, they really don't give a shit. It's all about like what they can get and the money they can get. So
Right. So there's no empathy, there's no compassion, there's no
no,
love.
no, none at all. So
Wow. It's crazy.
I
mean,
want to
this-
say something to you. The first thing I want to say is you know that everything that you persevered built your character.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like God put me there for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And I went through that because I was strong enough to go through it. God knew I was strong enough to go through it. And I mean, it hasn't broke me. They still haven't broke me. I'm 36 and they still have not broke me.
wow.
So
And I want to tell you that I'm proud of you for coming forward. You need to tell your story more because that's going to help heal you.
yeah, that's what I was telling my husband. I told my husband that earlier too. You know, it
Right.
gets easier the more you talk about it. So
And you'll
Right.
be surprised how many people will connect to you.
Right. Do you know how
yeah.
many people out there need to hear your like how many people you've just helped tonight? I mean, granted, our show gets out there more, but like how many people are out there that are holding on to all of this emotion and everything that they have because they are scared to come out and tell their story.
Mhm.
They don't want to, this or that. And how many people are hopefully, even if it's just one, that's enough. But I think it's really more than that. That you just gave them that empowerment so that they're like, you know what, I need to go out and I need to do this and tell my story. Like just in this little bit of what you've done tonight, we can't measure the amounts of people that you actually did help and further their stuff, but it was quite a bit, I'll guarantee you, or it is quite a bit, however you look at what we're saying. It's just really, that's just really cool. And I think um your story is definitely one that needs to be out there and be told because as though it's not so extreme, it's the norm, and there's so many people out there, like you're just like it's just there's nothing in your story that you've told to us tonight that's like home run over the top, like wow, like you were just like a little girl that was stolen from her family, and you really spent the rest of your life trying to get back to that your family, right? Like really, that was
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
that's all
I
you
mean, I
really
did
wanted.
run away many times back to my dad and stuff, you
Right.
know? So, I
It's oh my,
mean,
it's freaking, it's something, and it's very empowering. And thank you for having the guts and all of that to come out. I'm not kicking you off or anything. I'm just saying, like like this is just, it's just it's awesome that you feel like that need for this because that's part of where this all takes off from.
mhm.
So but what is your family life like now? Like what do you have for a family now?
So, I live in Mississippi now. I am from Ohio. I was in Claremont County, CPS. That's who had the state of Ohio raised me, you know? And so when I was like 21, I moved to Mississippi with my husband, and we've been here ever since, and it's great. And I am really close with my mom, and it's just me and my husband, and we live in a little house down in the swamp, and it's great. And we have a great life. And my older sister lives in Florida, and she's mad at me right now, but I love her anyway.
Seems to be a lot of that.
And then I have
Seems
a
to be a
little
lot of that
brother
going
that's
on.
still in Ohio with my mom. So
There seems to be a lot of that going on, sibling upsettingness.
yeah,
Well,
she's been mad at me for like almost a year now, but it's okay. I love her. I give her like another couple years, and we'll be friends again. That's usually how it goes with me and her. So
Well, I know Darren's not talking about me and my sister. The family feud
No,
is not
no.
between me and her. It's between them two. I'm just stuck in the middle like an Oreo cookie.
Mhm. That happens.
Yeah.
Especially with sisters, it happens.
Oh man, just craziness.
Well,
What
I want you to talk to people about your story. I think it's
Mhm.
important that you get it out there because just like you were nervous to come on here, there's a lot of people, and I'm going to say you kids because you all grew up in the foster care system.
Mhm.
And sometimes that will stunt people's growth too. So people need to understand that it's made to traumatize and
Oh, yeah.
harm you.
Oh,
It's
right.
yeah.
not a place that any child should be. The good thing about where I'm at is I'm pushing kinship care so hard. Like I'm ready to just shove it up everybody's ass until they puke
Mhm.
it out. Okay.
Right.
That's really
Right.
how
Yeah.
hard I want it to go. Because children do much better when they're with a family member.
Yes. Yes, 100%. 100%. Yes, and it shouldn't matter if they're in another state. Every single grandparent, aunt, uncle, whoever needs to be contacted and given a chance and not have to jump through crazy hoops because, I mean, like I said, my niece and nephew are, with another aunt right now, but she's in Ohio, and because I'm in Mississippi, it was like a big thing, so I couldn't get them,
Uh, no, 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 no.
So
You
Can
could
you
have got them. They just
they
didn't
were
want to
making
give
me
up the
jump through
money.
a lot of hoops. Yeah, I just don't have the money. I don't
No,
have the money and I don't have the. Yep.
they didn't want to give up the money.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, I did tell her that. I actually have a recording of me talking to that CPS worker about my niece and nephew, and I told her that, she was gonna lose money, and that's why they didn't want the kids coming down here, and she was so quiet. She was
Of
so quiet. I
course.
have the recording of that. Yeah, she was
Excuse me
dead
one
Crazy.
quiet.
second.
Okay.
Danielle, I saw a picture on Facebook today that has enraged me with Francesca and your boss.
Whoa.
We need a meeting with your boss. Darren, I sent you the damn picture.
Wow. No wonder I came out here so soft. I didn't realize I. Wow. I would have been on fire about that. How do you feel? You know what? This is a great question for you, Jane. How do you feel about these advocates that are out here and they're not truthful to the cause, that they're not really out here to help people like you or to help parents like me or, like things like that? They're not out. Whoa, Kitty, no. They're not out here for things like that. They're out here for their own good or their own situation. Like, how does that make you feel knowing what you've gone through? Like, is this really your sacrifice that these people are streamlining off of? Like, how
Yeah,
does that,
it makes
how
me
does that
really
make you
mad,
feel? Like,
actually. It makes me mad because they're not doing it out of like the goodness of their heart or because they care. They are not. They all do it for the money. They all do it because they get something out of it. It's not just because they care. Okay. Like I remember being like 15 and telling my caseworker, like, yeah, I want to grow up to be a caseworker too. And she was like, you don't want to do that. Like, there's no money in it. That's what I remember her telling me that.
there's no
So
money in it.
there's no money in it. That's what she told me. And I just did not believe it because every caseworker I ever had always drove a relatively new car and
Right.
relatively nice, always dressed nice. Like there's no money in it. Okay. You know?
When
So
did you find out? When did you find out that this was about the money? And how did that make you feel?
I was probably like 14 or 15. And that made me really mad because I was living with a preacher and his wife at that point. And we lived in a
Mhm.
really big house and they never bought me anything. But then like a couple months of me living there, they got like a brand new minivan and like really nice wood furniture for their bedroom from like the Amish. Because
Mhm.
like being in Ohio, there's a lot of Amish around. And then they got
Right.
like a really nice breakfast nook made from the Amish. Like they had money after I moved in. And when I moved in there, they didn't have nothing. Like she was driving like a beat up Astro van, like the door barely opened. But then like I lived there for like 6 months and they get like a brand new Honda van. Like when they first came out with like the where both doors open and like the full entertainment system. Yeah. So, I mean, these people they're all corrupt,
They should have
mean,
thanked
did
me
you-
for that minivan.
Yeah, right.
They
Do
should have.
that
I
must
mean,
be-
they should have at least like taught me how to drive in it or something. Like, like they wouldn't have had that if it wasn't
Right.
for me.
Right.
So,
Did you-
and I never got nothing when I lived there, like at all, ever.
Wow. Did you like that? Must have been something. Like it must have done something to you to realize that you weren't even getting feelings of love. You were getting bought and paid for, right? Like that was.
Oh yeah.
that must have been
Oh yeah.
such
They
a
didn't let me
crushing
forget
blow.
it either. They didn't let me forget it for sure. Like, the preacher, we were all like, they had like their family over and, they were talking about going to Disney World. And I got real excited because I'm like a 16-year-old, like, hell yeah, I want to go to Disney World too. I've never been there. And he looked over at me in front of like all his family and they were like, he's like, you're not going to go. And I remember going upstairs to my room crying. And then he came up to talk to me, but I just remember ignoring him, but they would do stuff like that. You know what I mean? They would purposely do things like that. So that same family, the preacher and his wife, we had like a Christmas at his family's house and they didn't tell anybody that I was coming. And there was probably like 20 or 30 people there. And when we got there, everybody had presents and I didn't have nothing. And so I just remember sitting there watching everybody like have this great time opening all these presents. And I just sat there, and they just acted like it wasn't a big deal. And like I wasn't supposed to be upset or mad or hurt or anything,
How did they explain it to you? Did they?
They didn't. No, they didn't. And I was a teenager at that point. I was like 15, 16. So I was just like, whatever. I internalized a lot of it. I would just be quiet. And then they had me on so much medicine at that point too that I was quiet,
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Like how much did they medicate you? Like how were you medicated prior to and then going
heavily.
in or yeah?
Heavily. I wasn't on any medicine at all. Never. None whatsoever. And then like as soon as I got in the system, they put me on birth control like right off the bat. Okay, like I wasn't going nowhere to have sex, right? Like, and I'd already been abused by like grown ass men. Like I was not about to be like, let's go have sex. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they put me on birth control right off the bat, claiming that it was going to help me with my periods. It's going to help you with your periods. So then like I was probably like 15 and they put me on like 2 or 3 different antidepressants. They had me on lithium like 2 or 3 times a day. I mean, that's like an antipsychotic. Okay. I have no bipolar, nothing like that. Like at the worst, I have really bad PTSD and anxiety, And so, yeah, they had me on lithium for a really long time. And then there was like another medicine to counteract the lithium because lithium, I had real bad, like, I would shake real bad, like so bad that I couldn't write notes at school. And so they just had me on a bunch of stuff. And then there's actually a boy. So when I quit taking the medicine, I was getting ready to get moved out of the preacher's house. And I always thought that it was because of me. And years later, I found out it's really because there's this boy that was murdered and we were in the same, like the contracting where they contracted out, because you have like a state worker and then you have like a worker that comes and sees you once a week and they're like a contractor, and it was like Lifeway for Youth or something. And we were in that same group, me and this like 6-year-old boy, because I remember seeing him at like the same counseling place. And his name's Marcus Faisal. You can look him up. He was killed by his foster parents. So that like that summer, that organization got shut down because that little boy was murdered. And that's when I got moved from the preacher's house to the group home because the preacher and them were losing their license because they were through that agency, So yeah, and I didn't even find that out till years later. I was talking to a counselor that I had when I was in foster care, and she was probably like the only person that I felt I could talk to that ever listened to me. And I'm still friends with her today. And I remember telling her that, and she was like, "No, they did not kick you out because it was you," which was what I always thought. I always assumed it was me, and that's why I got moved to the group home. It wasn't. It was because they lost their license, and I had to be moved out. You know.
So they were in it. They were in it totally just for the money. That's what
Oh
their
yeah.
their whole game was
Oh
about.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Every
Wow.
foster parent I ever had was like about the money. My first foster mom lived in a little ranch style house, and then we moved from the ranch style house to like a really nice, like 2-story house downtown, and it was gorgeous. And I didn't live there very long, maybe like 3 or 4 months. So
So John has a question for you here. He wants to know what were things that they would say to you to program you, like to try to, were there standard things that they would say to you to get you to comply or to, I think that's what he's trying to get at. Were there like trigger words that you had that you, that
no,
no, I think he's trying to go like
no.
that
I mean,
or anything, but
they would make you think that you were the problem.
right.
They would beat you down mentally, like where they thought they would make you think you were the issue, like that it was your fault you were there, and like
Yeah.
I don't know, that they would just try to spin it on you to try to make you believe that it was your fault so you would change or something. I don't know, you know.
That's
But I
good.
don't remember any like trigger words or anything.
Well, no,
I
I
mean,
think
maybe.
that maybe what he meant too. Like if, like you were just saying, like they beat you down, they would mentally and
Mhm.
they would, they would, they would. I'm trying to think of the
It
word.
was psychological warfare. It was like chess. It was like having to
Right,
play a chess game when you've never played chess, but you're a 13-year-old,
right.
and you got to deal with it all on your own. I mean, they made me go to court on my own. There was plenty of times I had to go to
You had to go to
court
court on
and
your
be on
own.
my side, and then my caseworkers on the other, and I had to say what I needed to say, and the caseworkers were against me.
Are
So,
you? So you would
oh
be.
no.
So they would just send you to the wolves. They would just send you
Oh
out to the
yeah,
wolves.
100%. I was probably like 16, and I had gotten in trouble, and I had court, and they had me on one side, and my caseworker and foster mom were on the other side, and they told the judge their side, and I told the judge my side, and I was over there by myself, and I was 16 years old. I did not have a guardian ad litem, and if I did, I never met them. So, and I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Did you? No. Did you have to? Did you go home with them? Like after you went to court, did they like pick you up from the courthouse or something, or
I
how
think I
did
went
that?
to a respite. I think I went to a respite, so they just sent me to another foster home for like a few days to have a cool down period,
Yeah.
and then I went right back to that home.
Now explain the respite homes. What were those like?
Those are weird. They always send you to like some weird. Every respite home I ever went to, they always had a bunch of kids, and it was weird. It was weird. Like all the other kids that I ever met, they were like, I don't know, they just went along with whatever they were told, and they never questioned anything. And I was like always the jerk that questioned everything and got in trouble. And they didn't like that, but it was always weird. And they would always like put you in like the weird part of the house, they would
You like
try to make it fun, but it was
closet?
always strange.
Right.
Huh?
They'd put you like in a basement closet or something and say that was like a bedroom or
We
something like
started
that.
over like the part of the house that's like the add-on,
Right.
that like you can tell isn't part of the house. Yeah, they
Right.
would do stuff like
So
that.
cold.
But you're usually only there for like 3 or 4 days. Like you're not there very long.
Right. Now, do you have any favorable memories of any foster families that you had? Like, do you have anything that you're like, wow, these people were really good? Like they were
No.
really, no. See, there's, yeah,
Mm-mm.
like that wasn't even a hesitation. That was 5. So you said you've been to 5 or 6 foster families and you don't even have,
Mhm.
that was, you answered that question so fast. That was like, you didn't even need to think about that. You were just
I
like,
mean,
boom,
like
you
they
know?
would have their moments, but like the bad stuff or like the manipulative shit that they would do, like definitely overshadows any
Right.
of the good things that they would do, because they would do something to pull you in, and then they would try to break you down, like they would get you comfortable, and then they would attack you. You know what I
Right.
mean? So like you didn't
Off your
know
guard.
whether to be on guard or not.
Right. Yeah. Man, it's freaking, it's really something. Oh God, the horrors. Um, Jesus. Oh man, I have so many questions for you. I don't know how. I mean, this could be another whole series, let alone
Part two.
what? Yeah,
Mhm.
what? What is one thing that if you're out here and you're talking to anybody out there, what's one thing that a kid that's in this system right now that's trying to manipulate their way through for them? What is it? How would you? What would you say to them?
I would tell them that they're gonna get out. They're gonna get out. It's not gonna last forever. Like, and when you're 18, get out, get out. Like they try to keep me with like the promise of you're not gonna graduate high school, because of how my birthday falls. And
Yeah,
I got out. I got out and got my GED. I would have rather have had my GED than graduate with my class. And I was a senior when I dropped out of high school because of them. So, I mean, it's going to get better. They can't do anything to you once you're 18. You're free. You're out. So just, I mean, it's easier if you
you
can't
could just
fight
walk
it
out the
than
door.
just lay
You could just
low.
walk out the door if you wanted to.
Huh?
You could just walk out at the door if you wanted to at 18. You
Yeah.
could just say, see
I
you later,
was
bye.
18. So on my 18th birthday, I had a trash bag full of clothes, $10, and a paper that said that I was emancipated. And I'm from Cincinnati. But they had me in a respite home the last week before I was 18 because I had run away like 2 weeks before I turned 18. But of course, they had to come get me and bring me back for that last week. So I stayed for the last week at some respite home out in like Mount Orb, which is like east of Cincinnati. And the old man that was there at like 11:50 or something at night drove me to the Kroger on the side of like 32 and dropped me off with my bag and my $10 and was like, have a great life. And I was like, peace out, motherfucker, And I went across the street and bought my first pack of cigarettes. And I was so happy. I was so happy I was free.
Wow.
I didn't care that it was midnight and that November, like I did not care. Like I was ready to get out of there, like thank God I was smart enough to have bought myself a cell phone like a couple months before. And I had a cell phone. I was able to call somebody because my parents weren't going to come and get me. So I had somebody to come get me. And I dated him, which is not a good idea. Don't get out and move in with your boyfriend. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Right.
But I did it. And really, his dad is the one that helped me. So his dad is the one that stepped up and helped me get my social security card and birth certificate because my caseworkers had conveniently lost them. And he taught me how to drive. He helped me get my license. Like he helped me get a job. Like he helped me. He helped me. So.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's great. Wow.
Mhm.
The whole thing
Yeah.
is just that whole thing is just nuts. I can't believe that this
Yeah,
is the way people that this goes. Like this for a system that so many believe is is meant to help you. And like everybody that doesn't believe what we're preaching here, that CPS is bad, everybody believes that no, they're helping these people. Everybody thinks it's Disney World and all happy and all of this stuff, and rarely, and this just proves it tonight. You're 0 for 5 in foster homes, right? So you had 5 opportunities that you could change your life, and not one of them did. Not one of them even remotely sparked a thing in your brain, because when we asked you that question, you already were moving on to the next one. You already knew the answer to that,
Mhm.
and that's crazy. So
They
I mean,
would leave me in my room for days. I mean, the preacher and his wife, I lived there for maybe a year and a half. From like 15 to 16, like that school year, like 10th grade school year. And that summer was miserable because I remember I didn't have a job and we lived by an amusement park called Kings Island and they had passes. She didn't buy my pass because I didn't buy my pass. So she wasn't about to buy me a pass with everybody else, because I was a teenager and made my own money. But I didn't have one that year. And I remember being home all summer long. I literally remember being home and waking up and they would all be gone at the amusement park. And then I was just like at home. I was like, whatever, man. And then I was there part of the next summer. And that summer I had a job and I had bought my own pass. So I could go when they went, but because I bought my own pass. And there was times like they wouldn't drive me. She wouldn't drive me to work. Like I was told, get this job down the street and it's close enough we can drive you. I think it was like maybe 3 miles away. It was like this little ice cream place.
Yeah.
And she never once drove me. I had to walk it. And like the way you had to walk it, there was no sidewalks, and I mean, I had to walk to work, and there was times I didn't go because there'd be like heat advisories, and they would just do stupid stuff like that, like tell you to do something and then you do it, and then they turn around and everybody turns against you. The foster parents turn against you, the caseworkers turn against you, like everybody's against you, and then you're over here like, well, you told me to do it, and then they have like 20 other reasons why you weren't supposed to do it. I don't know. It's a giant mind game, all of it. So I have a lot of stories.
You do. I can't imagine. And the more thing is, here's the thing. Do you know how many stories you probably, and I don't need to tell you this because you know it, but you know how many stories that you have in your brain that you've even blocked out, that once you start telling these stories and start, going, these like this stuff's going to come out and you're going to be like, oh my God, I completely forgot about this. Oh, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what Alicia has talked to you about. I don't know what Alicia's talked to you about or not, or where you even go for the further of this or for the future of this. But if you do something, you definitely are welcome here. Whether you want to do your own show, whether you want to be a co-host on anyone's show. I mean, if you want a place to tell your story, you got a home right here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's the first time I've ever told anyone other than my husband. So it's like really overwhelming,
Yeah.
And I have so many crazy stories.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the system is broken, very broken, and they do not do kids any kind of favor at all. At all.
This is my last question for you. And this is one that we fight with all the time, or I fight with. The problem that I see that we have, the reason that we can't get people involved in this movement is because they look at us as the parents as whiny, like drug addict, crazy parents that are just whining. They lost their kids. It was their fault, blah, 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 blah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the deal. We can't get the American public to listen to us because that's the persona that they've put on us. What we need is to get the parents that have not been through CPS's grips yet, haven't seen what the truth is yet, to get on board with our message. How is it, or what can we do to get non-affected parents involved with the fight against CPS, in your opinion?
They need to start listening to the kids that were in the system. And a lot of us kids, I think a lot of us are broken, or we're scared, or we have such bad PTSD that we cannot bring ourselves to tell our story, because I know that that's my problem. That's always been my issue. I'm always scared to tell my story because I'm like, well, people don't give a shit, or nobody wants to hear it, like, or nobody cares. So why bother, And I mean, I was just asked like random on Facebook, like, would you be interested? And I just figured that it's now or never, and it's definitely the time. More kids need to come out and say something, but I think the system scares us so much from living it that I don't know, you're scared to come out and tell people what happened to you, because they make you feel like when you're in there, they make you feel like it's all your fault and you're a bad kid and that's why you're there. And so as an adult, you're like, well, nobody gives a shit because I was that bad kid. You know what I mean? But then looking back too, you're like, well, I really wasn't that bad,
Right. In comparison to what you've been. Right.
So I think Alicia needs to put a Facebook post out, since she's our manager, that we need to find more kids and they need to come on. And I think when you're ready and you feel like you won't break again, I think you would make a good addition to our podcast. I really do, because you can relate to them.
Oh yeah.
Because we can relate to the parents.
Mm-hmm.
You can relate to the survivors.
Yeah.
Because that's what you are.
Yeah.
Right, she is.
It's hard. It's hard. And I know there's a lot of us that are just too scared to come out,
I think if people see, this is what people don't understand. I understand that fear. But the more you talk about it and the more people hear you and the bigger your voices get, it will start healing everybody. It will never completely
Right.
go away. I'm
No,
telling you,
never.
it will never
Never.
go away.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, the burdens that are on your shoulders will start to lift.
Oh,
I
yeah.
promise you. I've
100.
been doing this
They
as long
do.
as you've been alive.
Yeah. No, they really do because like the only reason I think that I'm able to talk today is because I've been talking to my husband for the last 16 years and he knows everything, you know, and
Right.
he's really helped. So I think that's the only reason that I am at this point because I have told my stories. If it was only to him, you know, I've said it out loud, you know.
Yeah. And it
Mhm.
gets easier to talk about
It
because
it does. It really does. And that's the only thing that does make you feel better because then you have that reflection and you're like, "Oh, really? Wait, I wasn't that bad of a kid," you know?
Right.
well,
And they
not
make you
only
they
that,
make you feel crazy.
then they really do find out that they were really never alone.
Mhm. Right. Right. And you
And
know,
they're
there are
still
some
not.
kids that I was in the system with that I would love to find to see what they're doing and how they turned out, you know? So, I mean, I don't even know what happened to them, you know?
Ugh. Jesus Almighty. This
Well, I
is
do want to
crazy.
thank you for coming on and sharing your story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for giving me the opportunity. Like, I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
And
Really.
stay in touch with Alicia because she is our manager, and you can find me and Darren on Facebook too. But
All right.
Really.
I really want you to think about it because I'm telling you, you will see a tremendous healing in you within months if you start doing this.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got a lot. You got a lot to offer a lot of people out there that need it right now. You know, like
I mean,
that's
I'm definitely interested. And, you know, like I said earlier, everything happens for a reason and God puts people in your life for a reason. So obviously I was meant to be here, you know? So,
yep.
Darren will
Sure
do you
were.
a tune and do a song for you. You'll have
Yeah.
so much fun.
We turn it into something else good for you. Well, thank you so much, Jane. And we will
thank
see
you
you.
so much. You guys have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Everybody, that's that. That's that story for the sure. Tiff, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
All right.
Why I never needed God. Then I heard his voice, so sweet. It put me on my knees. I'm holding on to hope for dear life. With God driving
They said don't fight the system. They said stay quiet.
They were wrong. Lock in. We are exposing what so many have failed to. We are going to show you what bar attorneys have hidden from all of us. Hundreds of thousands of children and twice that of parents have been lied to and walked down the road of termination. It's the death penalty. We're all of the protesters, the ones who fight for the rights of prisoners, dogs, illegal immigrants. Why aren't you coming to the aid of our children and families? Right here in America, every day a child per minute is kidnapped.
And no one cares. We fight alone until today. CPS punishers mount up. Here comes the CPS Punisher.
Anonymous tip, another lie from one of them. No warrant, no proof, just a badge and a grin. Stealing kids like trophies, thinking they'll win. Mama crying on the porch, daddy in the cage. System wrote the script, but the CPS Punisher just flipped the page. The educator they banned, I see every violation, every forged line, every ex-part hearing, every stolen time. One tap of the app and the truth ignites. Welcome to the CPS Punisher, now we can fight.
CPS and the courts have lied to us all.
The courts will not disgrace the family.
CPS Punisher, here to avoid the chains and expose the game. CPS Punisher, the educator they never wanted you to find. Punisher, one tap and their empire cracks. We rise, we take our kids back. The app is called the CPS Punisher.
I'm the cape in the shadows, the skull in the night, the binder full of secrets, the weapons you all need. Ab initio, watch me void that lie. Fourth Amendment armor, watch the tyrants cry. Falsified drug test gone in a flash. I see Tebio, warrior, due process king. Every parent's hero when the hotline rings. I call it justice. Download the truth, now the system busts us. From the courtroom to the streets, hear the battle cry. The CPS Punishers arrive. Kiss your bar asses goodbye. They tried to silence us, now we're the loudest voice in the room.
CPS Punisher,
Here to avoid the chains and expose the game.
CPS Punisher,
The educator they never wanted you to find.
Punisher,
The children never leave again. Families rise, we never look back. We now use the CPS Punisher. This ain't revenge. This is reunification.
This ain't rage, this is resurrection. Open the app.
Step into the fight. You ready?
CPS Punisher,
The app you need when they took your kid.
CPS Punisher,
The truth they hid, now the truth gets lit.
Punisher,
Download the power, take back the throne.
Punisher,
You're never alone. CPS Punisher. The educator they never wanted you to find. Void complete. Family restored. The bar is finished. The Constitution will prevail. Judges do what's right. Treason is your penalty.
CPS Punisher.
Here comes the CPS Punisher.